Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. I can't believe it's finally here. I feel like I've been talking to you guys about jumping on and sharing the ins and the outs, and the day has come. So, hello and welcome. I hope you guys have been enjoying the little tidbits of information you've seen from the things that I've shared just while I was on the trip in Punta Cana, as well as some of the things that other coaches have shared. Because I'll be honest, I did this sneak peek was a little bit different because I wanted you to hear from more than just me. Because while I can shout from the rooftops how much this business has impacted my life and my family, my future, I think it's so beneficial just to hear other people's stories, because you may have heard about it from me, but maybe you can see it through the eyes of someone else who maybe, is a teacher like you, or is a nurse like you, or, it's a dog mom like you, whatever it may be. So I appreciate all the girls who took some time to share with you guys and make some videos for you and just talk about how they got started. And I think it's just important to know that a lot of us, we all start at point zero. We all start kind of clueless when it comes to building this business, unless you've ever been in another network marketing MLM business. This is something that's brand new, and it's not something that they teach you in school or that you necessarily get from the get-go. But I think it's, something just incredible to watch unfold. And I really wanted to just give you a little bit of background, because I know I know personally, a lot of you have been added to this group by other members from my team who maybe you don't know who I am. You just see this girl who's posting these pictures, and it's like, okay, well, who is she? Big picture, my name is Megan Blinka. I am a mom of two. And a husband to Kyle. We've been married almost 8 years now, but this stay-at-home mom coach life wasn't always the case. I actually still have somewhere my little CPA name tag that my mom made me for Christmas. I'm surprised she doesn't have a thing on it, the year. But not only did I have my CPA on the back, it said dream, believe, and succeed. And I do believe that is part of what got me to where I am now. The dreaming, believing, and just, finding my way towards success in this. But I spent 6 years in public accounting. I was someone who I just thought I was going to be a businesswoman. That was my path. That was what I was meant to be. And I was going to wear a suit and work in a tall building and have an office, and it was just going to be great. And, I followed those initial steps. I went to school. I got my degree. I got a double major in finance and accounting. So clearly nothing related to finance or to health and fitness. I got a great job at one of the best big four accounting firms that I could possibly get started out in. And things were going great. I met my husband. Things were good. We got married pretty quickly, and we decided to start a family. And I just assumed that I was going to be a working mom. That just was going to be life. And I didn't think twice about it until a little bundle of joy was brought home in 2011. And I still remember being on maternity leave, and everyone would say to me, "Are you ready to go back?" And I'd say, "No, not yet, but I will be." And I was home for 12 weeks. And the end of those 12 weeks came, and I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready to go back. It was, the job I had was, I had a great career, but it was long hours. I worked pretty much, I used to leave home at 6:30, 7 o'clock, and on a good day, I'd get home about 6:30, and that meant eat dinner after my husband and daughter already ate dinner. I would eat my dinner and then put her to bed, and that was my night. So for 2 years, I pretty much got maybe a waking hour with my daughter in the evening, and on the weekends, I spent a lot of time working, and it was 2 years of that before I decided that with baby number 2, there was no way that I could possibly go back to doing this again. I was just miserable, and we didn't really have a backup plan. It was pretty much just I'm done. I'm not going back after having this baby. We're just going to figure it out. And I didn't realize how much I valued my independence that I had as a successful businesswoman until I no longer had it. And it took a little while for it to sink in. It was actually April, so right at 4 years ago, that I had left my career. And it was probably that September, October time frame where it hit me that I don't have any of my own money anymore. This is I have to depend on someone else, and that just wasn't my nature. It was that following, I guess I should back up, October is when that all happened. Right around that time, I bought a T25 challenge pack. So if you're familiar, that's one of Shaun T's programs. And my coach said, do you want to be in a challenge group? I'm like, no, I'm cool. I can do this on my own. I don't need any help. Well, if you've ever tried to buy it on your own and say you don't need any help, you may realize that you get nowhere fast. So I bought it, and I held on to that program for 6 months. would occasionally work out. I made one bag of Shakeology stretch me, I think, 3 months because I didn't think that I could waste it on days I didn't work out. I didn't work out every day. So it was like a long, drawn out T25. And my coach would touch base with me. I'm like, no, I'm cool. Like, this program doesn't really work anyways because I'm not getting anywhere. And it wasn't until then that next February, so a couple months after that, when 21 Day Fix came out, and I was like, this program that I bought like a couple months ago just isn't working for me. It's not very good. I need to try something different. And I loved yoga, and I knew 21 Day Fix had this 30-minute yoga. And as much as I was enjoying my hour and 15-minute long yoga sessions that I just started about the month prior, I couldn't get there. It was so hard for me to carve out 2.5 hours of my morning to get my kids, like, to get one off to preschool, one off to a sitter, go to this yoga class, pay, I think it was like $14 for a class, and then go pick up my son, pay the babysitter, and come back home. It took half my morning, and it costs a lot of money to do that. And I was like, I can only afford to do it once a week, and what am I getting with one class? So when I saw this whole 30-minute yoga concept, I'm like, this is what I need. This is exactly what I need. This is for me. And I didn't understand what 21 Day Fix was or Portion Fix Nutrition, but that decision to buy that challenge pack at that point in time in my life was huge for me, because it's what introduced me to the challenge groups. Because this time my coach didn't say to me, do you want in a challenge group? She just put me in. And if you've been in a group, you start to see a whole bunch of notifications. And I got curious. I was like, all right, like, what if I actually pay attention? Like, what if I do what my coach is telling me to do, and I make the meal plan that she's suggesting I make, and I follow the containers that some fancy fitness guru came up with, like, that clearly works because people are buying this. Like, what if I actually follow it? And it wasn't but just a few weeks into that I realized, like, oh my gosh, this works. Like, if you combine fitness and support and nutrition, you actually can reach your goals. And, like, it seems so simple now, but it was eye-opening for me, and it was getting the results for myself that gave me the belief in the products, but it was the community that I was surrounded with that made me realize, like, I want more of this. And how many moms are there that are exactly where I was 3 weeks ago who could benefit from what I've learned in these last few weeks from being with these other women? And it was initially because I needed the discount on the Shakeology, because I know, like, that sticker shock of being like, it's how much? Like, cannot spend $4 a day on myself. Like, I'm a mom. I don't spend that kind of money on myself. So it took me a while, and with the support of my husband, he's like, just try it. And I got good results. I shared my pictures with just my close friends and family, and that was honestly how I got started as a coach. And it wasn't this whole like big exciting launch. It was kind of one of those, like, this worked for me, and I think it can work for you, and it can work for you, and it can work for you. And as soon as I saw the opportunity, I no longer worried about what people were going to think about me, and I started sharing it publicly. I knew that this was totally out of my comfort zone, but I kept thinking, like, how much, it was just that one thought of how much it helped me and how much it could help someone else. And if I could remind myself that by sharing this, well, it might be weird to post a selfie. And I did not used to post selfies. People always like, yeah, right. If you look back, like, between after graduating from college until I became a coach, there's nothing on my Facebook, like an occasional random thing, but like, I didn't do it. I just didn't use Facebook then. But I realized that being able to put myself out there is where this was going to get started. And that's exactly what I did. And from, March 2000, what are we in, 17, 14, I have been sharing my daily sweaty selfies from my basement on my workout, on my social media, sharing my food, sharing my kid, and sharing my life. And through that, I found other people who can relate to me. Maybe it's through the fitness, maybe it's through the mom life, maybe it's through, their relationship with their spouse, but I've been able to connect with people who I would never have met without this business. And that's another one of those things that just makes me keep sharing, because I've met some of my best friends just through sharing my life on social media. And it sounds crazy. I know Melissa shared a little bit about herself and how, we were, I followed her on Instagram, and it was kind of one of those, like, her life matched my life, and we've got 2 kids, and there were so many parallels through it that it was like, well, let's be friends. Let's do this together. And that's really how, I just, that little bit of sharing, and I've done that day in and day out for the last 3 years. But as a lot of you saw, I did just get back from my third all-inclusive paid vacation. And it's kind of like, well, how does that happen? That's a snippet of it. That's a snippet of what we do and where the opportunities lie within this coaching business, because the majority of what we do is like this. It's through a phone. It's what I'm on right now. I'm on my phone sitting in my office. It's through a computer. It's chatting on weekly team calls. It's, getting on the phone with one another and going through the coach training. Like, most of what we do is through social media. It's, all virtual. But then there are the opportunities like we had last week in Punta Cana, and we'll have another one with our annual coach summit this July in New Orleans to get together and to kind of bring a face to the business and bring the virtual business to life. And that's one of the things I just love to be able to share, because while I actually really like the fact that I'm sitting here in my pajamas right now, which you may or may not know, but I'm sitting in my pajamas and I'm able to talk to you guys about something that I just absolutely love. And I didn't have to go to work. I didn't have to get up in the morning and commute somewhere, and I'm able to do it on my own time. After I got my kids tucked into bed, I'm able to hop on this phone real quick and just share a little bit with you. And that's something I found so appealing as a new stay-at-home mom a couple years ago, to be able to do this on my own terms. But as the week went on, I was sharing different things, different coaches were sharing different stuff. But how you get there is literally by doing what coaches are meant to do. So you saw in the groups, we run challenge groups, or not in the groups, you saw in the videos from other people. That's what we do. We run groups. We help other women reach their goals. That's the gist of it. I was talking to someone earlier, and she's like, so what do you do? And it was like trying to explain. I'm like, and I ended up saying, let's just set up a time to talk, because my text to her wasn't making sense. But I'm like, I help other women reach their health and fitness goals. And, I help you find a fitness program. I get you plugged into a support and accountability group, and I'm your cheerleader. I'm the person that's, not here to sell you something off a shelf. It's not that you walk into GNC and you buy this thing and you go on your merry way. Like, you're committing with someone as a coach, because they're going to be there to support you from day one through however long you want them. And that's like the simplistic, in a nutshell, what we do. And it's by doing that consistently. My first year I did at least 5 people every month I would help get started. 3 to 5 people, that's kind of the benchmark the company will set for you to be able to earn something like that trip I did. And I did it that first year, and I earned a trip to Cancun with my husband. I did it that second year, and we went on a cruise last spring, and then I did it again in my 3rd consecutive year, and we did it the Punta Cana trip. And some people are like, oh, but I could never get on it now. I did get on as a new coach, and it's just a matter of how much are you willing to put in. It's not something like, does every person who's a coach get to do this? No, it's a reward trip. It is a Success Club trip. It's for you to reward you for helping people. But it is still possible to do something like that next year or the next year after that, if you're willing to commit now and put your heart into it. The other thing I touched on briefly that someone wanted me to expand on a little bit was the international launch. And while it's exciting as can be, we don't have exact details of when or where, although when we had our last quarterly meeting in April, we were told it would be sometime in early May, which May's tomorrow. So hopefully those details will be coming soon, and by all means I will share them with you guys as soon as I have them. But big picture, we are expanding beyond North America. So we currently are in the United States and Canada. And I actually got started right as we expanded into Canada, and I was part of that growth. I'm not a Canadian coach, but I was part of that growth, part of that boom. And while I'm not saying, that you need to have contacts in these international countries of wherever we end up going to be able to grow with this, but this is the time when the company is about to boom out, because it's growing, it's going overseas, it's expanding. Like, it's, there's a ton of other companies that have already done this, and people are like, when is this going to happen? And they just Beachbody wanted to make sure they did it the right way, that they covered all their bases, and they had it right, and that they were going to do it and do it well. And it's been long anticipated. People have been asking for this for years. I remember when I first got started and they expanded to Canada, it was like, okay, well, what's next? And we're at that next stage. So as the details are out, I will be sharing them with you guys, but just know that this is a huge opportunity to get in as the growth continues to happen and expand. I know that some of you, like I said in the call, you've been invited in here from another coach. So if you have other questions, go reach out to that person that invited you to come in here and check it out. There's other videos that were shared from other stories. There's video in here about, do you have time to build this business? I'm not going to go into that now. I wanted you to know a little bit more about me and how I got started, and what can happen and where your opportunities lie. And if you have specific questions, just ask the coach who invited you here. Know that, it took me sometime. I watched my coach for months before I ever bought that first T25 challenge pack that I refused her challenge group and did nothing with. It took me 6 months after that before I decided I was going to try it again. But once I got the results and knew that I could help other people just simply the way I was helped. Like, I owe it to my coach who helped me and stepped out to be able to share her journey with others so she could help me and get me out of my funk whenever I was struggling after having my second child. That provided me with an opportunity to give my family things that I've only ever dreamed of and that I never saw possible when I resigned from my job 4 years ago. And I want to be able to give that opportunity to you if that's something that you could see yourself doing. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get started. We still have the All Access Challenge Pack promotion, which is, to me, just absolutely absurd because it's crazy to think what they're doing this month. But you are able to get your Shakeology in combination with a 12-month digital access to everything out there. So if you were an old school Beachbody fan like me, I had P90X, I had Insanity. We did P90X before our wedding. My husband did Insanity as I was pregnant with our first child. But we had those programs, and those solo were $120. Like I said, I bought the T25 challenge pack. I think that one was like $205 4 years ago, or however long ago it was. You can now get all those workout programs, plus there's the UV2 that's coming out in next month, or in like 2 weeks. May 16th, May 15th. New UV2, I'm not saying that right, UV2, anyways, that one's coming out the middle of May. Shaun T just shared that he's launching something. The information with that will be coming out in May as well. So Shaun T's at some point releasing a new program. We also have the Shift Shop. That's the one that I've actually been invited to be in the test group, which I'm so excited. That one's coming out in July. Those programs that you typically would be spending $60 or $90 to buy, those come with that digital access when you get your 12 months. So again, go back to the person who invited you if you have specific questions, but this is seriously an amazing time to get started between the All Access, the international expansion coming up, new programs are being launched, and our team's growing. We're really doing well. We have been in the top 60 of the entire company this entire year. It's been fluctuated between like 54 and 59 all of 2017, and that just means that our team, we're stable. We're not a huge team. I'm not going to lie and say that we've got thousands of people, but we're consistent, we're dedicated, and our heart's in it. And I promise you that if you join our team, you're going to get that same vibe and that feeling. And if you're willing to put the work in, you'll get that same success too. So thanks for listening. If you have other questions, by all means, you can post them below the video or in the group page itself, and we'll get back to you with your answers. All right, have a great night, everyone.